The 1967 Shelby 427 Cobra. A true American icon with a legendary reputation that's earned it a spot in automotive history. The 427 Cobra is one of those cars that carry stories filled with speed, power, and rebellion. Let's dive into some of the most famous tales and legends surrounding this beast. One of the most famous stories about the 427 Cobra comes from its performance on the racetrack. Designed by Shelby to challenge European giants like Ferrari, the 427 Cobra had a monstrous 427 cubic inch V engine that pushed 485 horsepower, an absurd amount of power for a car that weighed just over 2,400 pounds. In 1967, Ken Miles, a racing legend, took the 427 Cobra to victory in multiple events. He famously said that the Cobra was not just a car, it was a track-destroying monster. On the streets, it became notorious for being nearly impossible to control, like trying to tame a wild stallion. The Cobra could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just under 4 seconds, which was unheard of for a production car at the time. Stories about racing the Cobra often end in a combination of fear, thrills, and respect. The birth of the Cobra's reputation. Shelby's goal was to create the ultimate American sports car, and with the 427 Cobra, he did just that. However, the legend begins earlier. Shelby had already built a reputation with the Shelby Cobra 289, but it was the 427 that cemented the car's legacy. The decision to drop a massive 427 V8 engine into a car that originally had a smaller 289 engine was a risky one. Some say Shelby's team was barely able to fit the 427 engine into the chassis, but once it was done, the Cobra became the definitive muscle car. One famous tale involves Shelby himself taking a test drive in the prototype 427 Cobra. He revved the engine and reportedly said, "This is what a real American sports car should feel like." The Cobra was born, and so was an automotive myth. Here's a wild tale. Many of the Shelby 427 Cobras were known for their dangerous handling. With its massive engine and rear-wheel drive, it was an unstable car, especially when pushed to its limits. One famous driver of the 427 Cobra, Dave McDonald, was racing in one of the first Shelby Cobra 427 models when he flipped the car during a test drive. He walked away unharmed, but the accident became part of the Cobra's history, adding to its legend of untamed power and the danger that came with it. In fact, many Cobra owners over the years have stories about testing the car's limits, and most of those stories end with the Cobra proving its dominance, but sometimes with a side note of narrowly avoiding disaster.